We live in a time with tons of ultra-fast lenses for mirrorless cameras, so much that it's really not special anymore to be f0.95 or just faster than f1 anymore. There's so many options out there. And today we have one more option. Yet again, this is the 7Artisans 25mm f0.5 lens. I think it stands out in some strong ways. It's also got some things I don't like about it, and overall my relationship with it is a little bit complicated. First off, a big thank you to 7Artisans for sending me this lens for review, and that provides me opportunity to share a lot more stuff with all of you. As soon as you pull this lens out of the box, you're going to notice that it weighs a ton.
I will say out in the field it is very front heavy, like the whole camera just wants to tip forward all the time. It's quite a heavy lens anyway, but then just a lot of elements there on the front.
I mean, it feels really good quality. It feels like it's built like a tank, but that also means it's really heavy. Now, this is a declicked aperture, so you have a manual aperture ring here, but there's no clicks in between the stops. I really prefer a clicked aperture. Let me tell you where I think this lens really excels, because there are some areas where it just really nails it. So if you shoot it wide open at f0.95, which of course you don't have to, but if you're buying this lens, you're gonna want to do that, at least on some occasions. When shooting it wide open at f0.95, I found that really the best scenario, the best shots that I really liked was when your subject was about 6 to 8 feet away from you, and you shot at f0.95 and just really focus on nailing focus. And then it looks really nice. It actually looks pretty sharp from that distance for your subject. You don't really notice the softness and the flaws. And then the background is blurred to oblivion and looks really not like you took it on an APS-C camera. So that's really cool as well. That's exactly kind of the effect I think most people are going for with f0.95. But ultra-fast apertures aren't just about blurring the background to oblivion. They're also about letting in tons of light, and this lens does that. I also took it out with me when I shot the Aurora Borealis. That was my first experience at seeing it, which was super exciting. And this was one of the cameras I brought with me and the lens I brought with me. And the pictures actually turned out really nice at f0.95. Like, I was shocked at how sharp things looked at focused at affinity in that scenario. Now, of course, if you zoom in 100%, the stars look kind of like garbage. But because the Aurora is more about capturing the light and some other shapes and stuff, I think I really kind of got away with it. And then more importantly than that, being able to open up to f0.95 meant that I could actually see the Aurora before I could see it with my naked eye by looking through the viewfinder. If I wasn't able to let in that much light, I don't think I would have been able to do that. So while I was shooting my Pentax camera in another setup and this one was able to see it through the live view while the Pentax couldn't. And I think part of that is because letting in all that extra light. This lens is not a one-trick pony, so you can shoot it stop down, of course. I have to talk about the f0.95 because that's the big headline. That's the reason you'd buy this lens. But then, of course, you can stop it down and take pictures. And when you do, it gets really sharp, actually, especially at f8. If you're taking some landscapes, it is extremely sharp. Zero complaints about that. So the one really major thing for me is the flare and just some really bizarre effects that happen when you're shooting even kind of remotely close to a bright light source. So it kind of goes from no flare, no loss of contrast to all of a sudden huge glob of flare and huge loss of contrast in a very short little period of time. Now, it is a little bit fun. So when I would see it in my images, there were a few times where I kind of played with it and it looks cool. Kind of looks like the sun is right there shining all this light. But obviously there's a lot of situations where you wouldn't want that just kind of in your scene, and then the huge loss of contrast. Hey, if you like learning about this lens and want to learn about other really cool, affordable mirrorless lenses on the market today, then check out this playlist I made of handpicked lenses I've been reviewing and I think are the coolest on the market. I'll see you over there, and until next time, happy snapping.